I have started.
Great. So good evening, Alex. And anyone else who is joining us. And another Tuesday evening for our little Dhamma discussion. So with some feedback from Alex from our last Dhamma discussion, we're going to continue a little bit with the Mahasatipatthana Sutta and the aspect of the Vedana today, right? With a little bit of kind of a little practice as well of observing the feelings. I hope that is good with you, Alex.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, great. Okay, so obviously Mahasatipatthana Sutta, that the part of observing the Vedana Anupassana, observing the feelings. Yeah, so I'm just going to read a little bit on the English translation. So the section feeling says, and how does a monk remain focused on feelings in and of themselves? There is the case where a monk, when feeling a painful feeling, discerns, I'm feeling a painful feeling. When feeling a pleasant feeling, and he discerns, I'm feeling a pleasant feeling. When feeling a neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he discerns, I'm feeling a neither painful nor pleasant feeling. So then it goes to say, when feeling a painful feeling of the flesh, he discerns, I'm feeling a painful feeling of the flesh. When feeling a painful feeling not of the flesh, he discerns, I am feeling a painful feeling not of the flesh. When feeling a pleasant feeling of the flesh, he discerns, I am feeling a pleasant feeling of the flesh. When feeling a pleasant feeling not of the flesh, he discerns, I'm feeling a pleasant feeling not of the flesh. And when feeling a neither painful nor pleasant feeling of the flesh, he discerns, I'm feeling a neither painful nor pleasant feeling of the flesh. When feeling a neither painful nor pleasant feeling not of the flesh, he discerns, I'm feeling neither a painful nor pleasant feeling not of the flesh. In this way, he remains focused internally on feelings in and of themselves, or extremely on the feelings in and of themselves, or both internally and externally on feelings in and of themselves. Or he remains focused on the phenomena of origination with regard to feelings, on the phenomena of passing away with regard to feelings, or on the phenomena of origination and passing away with regard to feelings. Or his mindfulness that there are feelings is maintained to the extent of knowledge and remembrance, and he remains independent, unsustained by not clinging to anything into the world. This is how a monk remains focused on feelings in and of themselves. Okay, sorry. So I've just read a little bit on what the Mahasatipatthana Sutta states with regard to the feelings. So basically, feelings, Vedana, is the kind of like the first point of contact from our senses. So through the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. Okay, so technically all of them are flesh because they're part of the body. Yeah. And then the mind, obviously, mind feelings is not of the flesh. So far, so good.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay. So we try to keep it very simple. So people who are probably listening to this who don't really have a lot of knowledge about the teachings or have a lot of practice, they can understand. Okay. So yeah, did you want to say something, Alex?
I was just affirming, yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. Okay. So so Vedana feelings can be what we call pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, or neutral feelings. So obviously, if you kind of look at it from a kind of like a broader perspective, so pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral is all relative, isn't it? It depends on our view. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Because
Well, go
sometimes
ahead.
some things are uncomfortable, and it's not like my subjective. It is
Mm,
just, for example, pain. Pain is not pleasant.
yeah. So, so we associate the word pain. So because we, it's kind of embedded in us, isn't it? The word pain. When you see the word, even if you see the word pain, it means something not nice, right? Can you
Yes,
understand?
yes.
Yeah.
Can,
So,
can I give you even more concrete, because this is in my direct experience recently.
yeah.
So I had yesterday something was like bothering me in the body, and I was not like it was I wasn't aware of it, but it manifested that I didn't want to go to sleep when I usually would. And when I paid attention, I became aware there is a feeling of some kind of resentment. And when I paid attention, it was uncomfortable feeling. But when I felt it, maybe even expressed it to myself, like, okay, oh, I was not satisfied with this specific situation. It was
Mm,
starting to fade away, but it was felt as unpleasant
yeah.
feeling, not
Yeah.
to the flesh, but just a feeling.
The thought, no?
Hmm.
Feelings from the thought in that sense, not of the flesh.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. So very good. So basically, look at it this way. Okay. So in your case, that so you had this, something was making you uncomfortable because there was a underlying thought process which was not agreeing with your harmony of the mind.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So then you start to observe it, and then you start to kind of put like a, like an analytical attention to see, okay, what is this, what's going on, and you try to so you basically manage to reduce the strength of it, isn't it, through understanding.
Yes, yes.
Huh?
It was also a feeling. I could feel it, like my stress in the body. I located somewhere in the stomach was a little bit tense, so I can
Mm,
also feel it.
yeah. Yeah. So as you know, what we call what our mind, okay, it's in the whole of our body. Every single cell of our body has what we call our mind, quote unquote. Yeah. So when there are, thought processes that are, let's say, pleasant or unpleasant, if you kind of take the neutral out of the picture at this time, it will give sensations in the body. Yeah.
Hmm?
When you, yeah, when you have a pleasant feeling,
Yes.
you feel nice and light, right? And an unpleasant feeling, like you said, could be like a irritation. Say most of the time, yes, it's around our stomach, right? Although sometimes in the back, like people get like back pains, knee pains, neck pains, normally associated with underlying, you know, thoughts which are of, greed or hatred, like, sadness or anger.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, say, a pleasant. So, yes, the Vedana is categorized into three: pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, because that is what we as humans feel. Okay. But it's like I say, it's all relative, because sometimes an unpleasant feeling may be good for you and it may not be good for me. It's not a standard.
Hmm. I'm following you.
Yeah. Mhm. So, I mean, we're saying, not like, say, for instance, okay, say somebody, like, say, for instance, you get hit by something, right? Obviously, yes, there is a pain involved with that, which on a standard level, yes, it is an unpleasant feeling for most of people. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But then, say for instance, somebody who's in like in a, say, a boxer or somebody who fights. Okay, so
Hmm.
they're constantly being conditioned to take blows, right? To be hit.
Yes.
So, so their level of pleasantness will be a lot different to what we would experience if we get hit with the same strength of power.
If if I understand you correctly, so you're essentially saying, so in the context, for example, gym, where you
Mm.
lift weights, it's painful, but you perceive it as good because it's, for example, helping you build muscle, and you contextualize it differently. But when
Yeah.
you're having an injury and you don't want it, then you say it's bad because you
Mm.
don't want it. Either way,
Yes.
it's pain, but
Mm.
you see it differently. You see it in one scenario it is good, in one
Yeah.
scenario as bad.
Yeah. And also condition, like I said, say like people who box, right? Boxing, they're
Hmm.
always been, yes, nowadays people wear a lot of gear, right? But a long time ago they didn't. Yeah. And they get hit a lot. But with being hit, they get conditioned. So the strength of the what we call the pain level, the pain threshold, is a lot higher for someone like that compared to someone like us who do not do that kind of sport.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all it's relative. Yeah, but yes, there is what we call a pleasant pain, uh, then unpleasant and neutral. So yes, there are three categories, but it is relative. It varies amongst all of us. Not one person can say, "Oh, this pain is definitely unpleasant." Yes, you can categorize it as unpleasant if it's what we normally conventionally call an unpleasant feeling. Yeah, but there are uh, feelings where somebody may say, "Okay, that's not that unpleasant; it's quite pleasant." Um, it so it
Yeah, there are
so
sadistic people.
yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah,
Yes, that
some
love
people
pain.
might get joy by hurting other people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, but so all we have to understand is yes, there are is the feeling is yes. So when at the point of contact, say for instance, when we if we use our eye, the when we see something, the point of contact with the light and our eye organ, uh, that obviously triggers the if you look at the five aggregates, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Yeah. So it's the I let me see if I remember it in English. Rupa is form. Yeah. Form, feeling. Uh, Vedana, Sanya is like the identification of whatever we see. Yeah. And that is caused by the Sankara, right? Our memory. The memory bank will analyze, okay, this is what you're seeing. And then through our memory, uh, the history of our memory, if I see something that is uh, pleasurable, then yes, a pleasurable feeling will arise. Yeah. And if I see something that is unpleasurable, an unpleasant feeling can arise. Yeah. Make sense?
Yes. So
Yeah.
what you're saying is, when we at the point of contact, when we have a feeling,
Yes.
there our sankara influences our perception, so we
Yes.
may label it as bad, when but
Yes.
we are not seeing feeling as a feeling, not contemplating feeling as a feeling, but we're actually,
Analyzing it.
yes, maybe
Yeah.
influenced by some sankara. But I don't think that's mindfulness, right? I think
No.
mindfulness is
It-
contemplating
it-
feeling without.
it's mind. It can be mindfulness. It's not awareness. True awareness. So people can be mindful. So they can be. They know what's going on, and they know what they're seeing. But the awareness is when you see, okay, this is purely a a sensation caused of like a process caused by the contact. So thereby, what you do is through the awareness you practice the non-clinging, to say this is pleasant, this is unpleasant, this is neutral. You come to a point through practice that everything is technically neutral.
Mhm.
Do you understand?
Yes, so I think what you're saying
It's
is you observe phenomena and you don't label it eventually.
yeah,
S-
yeah,
Observe its
it's
impermanence, maybe.
yeah. So one of the sutras that the Buddha mentioned is like in the five aggregates. So I just got the English translation up. So rupa is form, sensation, vedana feeling, sanya perception, sanskara mental formation, and vijnana consciousness. So what the Buddha taught is through your practice you basically stop at the third one, the sanya, the perception. Okay,
Mhm.
and then the sanskara don't come. They don't affect your understanding of what's going on. The true, you keep your true presence.
Yeah, so
But
you,
normally, hmm,
you don't experience the label. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So it comes with practice. So it's it's a process, and everyone goes. If you practice, it'll to people achieve it at according to their abilities, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the whole point is to understand that everything, again, if you put it to the three characters, anicca, dukkha, anatta, how everything is not permanent. There's an unsatisfactory nature and there is selflessness, right? So even the Vedana is that has that has the character. So
yes.
why should yeah? So if it's that, why do we label it good, bad, or neutral? You
But I think
understand?
um, I think there can be unpleasant quality to a feeling, although we don't label it as we don't need to label it unpleasant, but we can observe, oh, this is having unpleasant
Hmm.
effect on this experience, which we
Yeah,
are currently observing.
yeah, that's right. So it's just observing how the mind works when a feeling arises through the flesh or not of the flesh, basically through the thought process. Yeah. So that is the whole point of the contemplation of the Vedana in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta.
Hmm.
Yeah. So observing, not analyzing.
Yes.
And then, like you did yesterday, observing why is this, what is this feeling? And then when you started to observe it, the strength of the feeling went down, didn't it?
Yes, yes, it is changing, and I can see that it is becoming less and changing, and eventually it poof disappears.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So you had first hand experience. So,
Yes, it's interesting,
Yeah.
and you see that obviously because it it was and now it is not, and you are still observing, so it can't be you. So it is changing,
Yeah,
and you see that
exactly.
there is there are conditions for it to be, but it's not you per se.
That's correct. Absolutely. Yeah. When the conditions are there, it will arise. When the conditions are not there, it will pass away, isn't it?
Mm,
So the whole point of this practice is to be observant, observe, see the process in action and reduce the craving through observing the process.
yes,
Start to understand the system, the mechanism of how it's working. Yeah.
yes. So the practice seems very simple. It's nothing
Yeah.
super complicated, but I think it's
Yeah.
the how often, like you, it's not just if you do it once, you it's about the way
Mm.
you're maybe even relating to a feeling. It's not, it's just being mindful of what is.
Yeah. I mean, basically on paper, yes, it's like a very simple set of, you know, guidelines. Yeah. But when you put it into practice, it's not as easy as people think it is. Yeah. So we have to always, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and it's like you have to get your basics right. So you have to start with generosity, dana. Yeah. In order to practice this satipatthana, in order to practice the breathing meditation, you can't just sit and start observing the breath. Yeah. It's not, you're not going to get results. It's,
Hmm.
because your system is not, you haven't got your system into a certain level of uh, like let's say let's use the word standardization,
Yes,
right? Yeah. So that is why it's dana, sila, bhavana. Remember, generosity, virtuous actions. Bhavana is like obviously your profitable actions through your bodily, verbal, and mental actions. Yeah. And then remember, then sila, samadhi, panya. So through your sila, you start to achieve samadhi. So samadhi, achieving samadhi is through this kind of practice of observing the breath, like in the Masatipatthana Sutta. Yeah. So if you don't have the dana at the beginning, yeah, your generosity through your physical actions, your verbal actions, your mental actions, if you haven't started the ball rolling with that, no matter how much you sit, you're not going to get results. You're just going to keep going inside the circle.
sorry, can you repeat that one last sentence?
Yeah. So, however much you practice, if you haven't cultivated your dana, yes, of course, you would have done a lot of dana in millions of our past lives, but we have to keep going with it in this life for us to keep, to be more profitable with our practice. Yeah. So, if you're not cultivating dana, because remember, it's a process, right? You don't, you have to keep repeating. It's a repetitive system. Then the more you do it, the more profitable you become. So you practice the dana, and as you practice the dana, you become more virtuous, and that helps you to be more profitable with your bodily, verbal, mental actions. So when you think about, if you're profitable with your bodily, verbal, mental actions, naturally your inner system is a lot more calmer than somebody who is not practicing that, right? So they can sit still, right? We can get 100 people and say, okay, can you sit still for 20 minutes? And the majority of people will physically, from what we can see, will be still, but their inside system, it's all very, very different. Some people will be very agitated. Some people will find it very difficult to sit still, but they're going to be really strong and they're going to sit still. Yeah. But it's only the outside, isn't it? But the inside has to be still. If you're inside your cell on the cellular level, if you are not cultivating stillness, it's you're not going to achieve results through your practice of observing the breath.
Noted.
Yes.
So
Opinion.
develop dana, and
Yeah.
which is generosity, and with verbal, mental, and physical actions.
Mm.
And, then focus on sila, and then that will eventually lead to s- samadhi, and you can meditate peacefully.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can practice this. If you don't, when you practice, you will see the results. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you. So, like the Buddha said, I can tell you, but if you don't practice, you don't see the results. Yeah, because it's not on paper. The paper is only the guidance, the outside, like the rough map. And you have to go with it. This, our especially the world that we live in now, we have a lot of in our perceptions are always stimulated, isn't it? Especially if you live, say, for instance, you live in a city, right? There's always things that are attracting your eyes, always things that you're hearing, smelling, tasting. People are constantly eating, and then obviously perceptions through your body. Yeah, and then thinking, because a lot of people have work and they have a lot of things they have to balance, maybe family and the jobs and everything. So your system is always in a state of flux, right? Like a very high flux. So you're on a cellular level, it's very, very busy. So that is why, like, as you know yourself, when you come to retreats, the first 3 days, always hard because your system is getting adjusted to that quiet, peaceful level of existence. Yeah.
Mm.
And then after it settles down, then you find it a lot easier to meditate, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So that is why, if you're practicing this path, you will always find, you will organize your life in a way that you will have more, like your surroundings will be more peaceful, you will have more time to rest and more time to practice, because that is important to get if you say like the vibrations on a cellular level to be a lot calmer. And then as that becomes calmer, naturally your thought processes become a lot calmer. Because remember, our thoughts are what's in our cells. Yeah. So if our thoughts are always running about, our system is always busy, working hard. That is why people get tired, people get sick, people cannot sleep. So see, it is very practical if you look at it. It's not rocket science.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's do a little practice for a few minutes, and then we can discuss a little bit more. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Great. So we're going to just sit very, wherever whoever's listening to this, just try to find a quiet place and sit comfortably. Uh, Floor is good if you can sit on the floor, but if you can't, you can sit on a chair. But try to not keep your back against the chair and keep your upper body nice and straight. Okay. And just start by taking a deep breath in and hold your breath. And gently breathe out. Breathe out through your mouth. One more time, breathing in. Deep breath in and hold your breath. And breathe out through your mouth. Again, breathing in, deep breath, and hold your breath. Gently breathe out through your mouth. We're having a very bad storm. You might have heard some noises. Don't be disturbed. Just observe your breathing. If you cannot focus onto your breath, you can find a focus on any part of your body. Just pay attention to that area and just observe the sensations that you're feeling. And you're probably going to label them already. Are they pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? But just try to observe. Just observe the sensation, the feeling, the Vedana, and observe the depth of the feeling. When you observe the feeling, you can observe like sometimes the feeling is quite strong. It may start strong, but as you keep observing, the energy of it will start to become less. And just observe how the feeling kind of arises. It stays for a while, and then can disappear, or it can just come back as a loop. And as you observe the feeling, we will realize how, because it is changing, there is no permanent feeling. So there is no sense that it doesn't belong to us. Because of our craving, we try to hold on to it and make it permanent. And then what we call a unpleasant feeling permanent, it causes us discomfort. And if we make a pleasant feeling permanent, for a short time, it will make us happy. By just learning to observe and accepting as it is, you practice to reduce your craving. Right, and take another deep breath again, breathing in and hold your breath. And gently breathe out. Breathe out through your mouth. Wonderful. So, how was that short practice, Alex?
I have good spiritual feeling.
Great. That is hard.
Good, good, good.
So, so you could feel how the feelings arise and stay for a while and move on.
Uh,
How did
y-
how
yes,
was
I
your
could.
experience?
Yes, I could feel the the breath, and from time to time, my thoughts wander.
Hmm,
Uh, then I came back.
good. So you observed your breathing, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, great, great. And did you feel pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral?
Uh, I could observe neutral and pleasant
Mostly
feelings.
pleasant feelings.
Hmm.
Good. Yeah, yeah. So, but so understanding what the pleasant is because we put a label to it, right? There is a label that tells us this is very pleasant. And you
Yes,
understand? Yeah,
yes. I will have to contemplate. I understand
yeah,
totally your point, and I
mm,
will have to take a look deeper into my experience if this is indeed a label or is it intrinsically some things are pleasurable and
yeah. Because it's conditioned. Our system is conditioned up through millions and millions and millions of years, right? So there is this is good, this is bad, and the basics obviously through uh, our basic instinct, right, of fight or flight. That's already in our system. As animals, we have that, which safeguards us. Yeah, and other things obviously. As humans, we're much more refined than say the animals of the animal kingdom. Yeah. So then we have much more refined senses of pleasant, unpleasant compared to, say, for instance, a cat or a dog or a mouse. Yeah. But it's nothing to say don't experience, pleasant feelings or unpleasant feelings or neutral feelings. It's like, yes, it's there, but it's the whole key is to observe it and see this is purely a feeling caused by condition.
Yes, I. It seems to me that an example, when you calm your mind, sometimes a pleasant feeling comes up, spiritually pleasant, and I
Mm,
think it's not attaching to the you. I think there is in sutta that you say, okay, this is a pleasant spiritual feeling. So, but non-attachment is the key. But the feeling itself seems to be pleasant.
yes, like joy when you practice
Yes, or when your mind calms down, and
yeah,
yes, equanimity
yes,
maybe.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So the key is to, yes. So as we practice, yes, the pleasantness is like because the body becomes a lot more in tune with its original self. Yes,
Hmm.
can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes,
you
yes.
understand? Yeah. Okay. So as the body starts to come into tune with its original self, there is like a sense of peace,
Hmm.
and that is, we would say, is a pleasant feeling because it's so soothing.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, we are very limited by our language, isn't it? Because then, when we use the word pleasant, it can be, obviously it comes with attachment, right? And not
Hmm.
with with aversion.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah. But there is a pleasantness in, uh, like the stillness, isn't it? But that is, it's like
yes.
the way to describe
It's
describe it is like pleasantness with no craving.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So it's purely, through the practice, and then you start to understand this is this is what is, uh, what it is right now. Am I having craving, or there's less craving here? You naturally, when you practice.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's very difficult to explain through language because, things get lost in translation, and also is how we can express ourselves. Uh, so that is why language is very, very limited. And also the text is very limited because it's written in a certain language and translated by someone within their understanding. So it's purely a guide. It's just a guide. Like I always say, you have a map. Say you go from A to B, you will have a map to say, okay, you go on this road, you go north or south or east or west. But until you actually go on the journey and you go from A to B, you will see all the, say, for example, the little trees or rivers or the cows in the fields and all that,
Hmm.
the other cars on the road, people that you meet or whatever. That's not on the map, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is your experience of your journey. Yeah. But that experience helps you to have a more, it's like a fulfilling journey. Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, you can virtually go into it from A to B. Yeah.
Yep.
But if you go in reality, your experience is very different. So the experience of this practice is important to reach the goal.
No, absolutely. I think the only significance of even discussing the teaching is if you're going on the road, because if we are discussing this only theoretically, it's maybe fun, but
Yeah,
not significant because you will not see
yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, the experience is, like, I would say, is 80% of your of the journey, and 20% is your theory and discussing and stuff like that. Yeah. So someone who may have a lot of knowledge will have that 20%, but they're not going to have the practice. So they can't, they're literally staying at point A and reading all about the journey to point B, but they never start the journey, right? Physically acting to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as you know, isn't it, in practice, it's beautiful results we get, isn't it? Little things that you achieve through your practice.
Yes, I'm encouraged when I see at least some things that I have read about, or heard about, or discussed about. So I see, and I know, okay, this is at least some encouragement, because I can see, for example, I can
Yeah.
see what was meant by some things,
Mm.
but I also think it's really important to have somebody to discuss, because the road is narrow, and I it seems to me that it would be advisable to have somebody to steer you left, right.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, good. That's why the Buddha said, noble friends and discussing the Dhamma is very, very important to go on this journey.
yes,
Yeah. And it's not discussing the Dhamma with AI tools. It's discussing the Dhamma with human beings,
yes, yes,
who really practice this. Because the AI can only give you guidance, just like the book. It can't give you result. You understand?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
It cannot fundamentally. So you have, for somebody to help you,
Mm.
assumingly people have to practice and have experience with it, and were there perhaps, and can tell you,
Yeah.
okay, this is not sounding so right, because that's not my, because sometimes theory can sound really point on, but you can sense something is not there, because it doesn't
Exactly.
resonate. So language can be on point, but it doesn't mean that it's actually on point. And
Mm.
somebody who practice would probably sense something is wrong.
Mm. Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes just in the stillness, I remember, like when we do retreats, just in the quiet stillness, you
Mm.
get profound results.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And even if you're sitting amongst practitioners and we're not talking, but we kind of know what's going on. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, so we encourage whoever's listening to these, go on retreats that give you, guidance. Who have teachers. It's very important to go on retreats that have teachers, because this is not a military practice, and this is a practice where everyone has a different pace. And if you have the right teacher guiding you, they can tell you, okay, do it this way. This will make your life a lot easier, because the teacher will know, according to the student, this is what you need to practice, because we're all different. Some people need to, not meditate. Some people need to just do things. because they have to first get their skills to a standard level through the generosity and then cultivating their virtuous actions. Yeah. Because nowadays meditation, the word meditation has become such a marketing tool, like big business. But people just use it like, okay, you sit, you close your eyes, you breathe. But it doesn't, it temporarily to give you some relief, but it doesn't really give you um, like lasting results, right? So I'm sure you would have seen through maybe friends who practice it. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm. So it's getting the seed, planting the seed at the right time. So that is your dana. Once you start the dana process, the generosity, and then slowly, the more and more you put your efforts into that, then everything starts to grow. Your virtuous actions start to grow. Your like the 10 perfections, right? The 10 perfections. The first one is generosity, dana.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So so if you start giving, you start naturally to become more moral, more sila. And as you start getting more sila, you start to become more renunciant. You start to let go. And then as you start to let go, your wisdom starts to arise. Yeah. And as your wisdom starts to rise, you start to become more like the effort starts to come, the energy, and then the more as the energy starts to come, your body naturally starts to pull back a little bit, and you learn patience. Your patience start to arise, and as the patience starts to rise, you start to be you start to be like more honest. The satya, the truthfulness arises, and then aditana, which is your resolve, and loving kindness, which is your metta, and peka, equanimity. So that is it, very simply the 10 perfections. That's the paramita in Pali. So see how the dana, the first, the generosity is the key. Have to start with that, because that is really the healthy seed that starts to grow this uh, your practice on the Dhamma path. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So today's discussion, Vedana, so it's something to practice. And reading the sutta, the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, will help whoever's listening to this recording, will help them with their practice as well. And anything you'd like to add, Alex?
Nope. Nothing to add.
Yes, the sky on a clear day.
It is. It is good sky here in Belgrade. No thunderstorm. Nothing. Today was not
Yeah,
this hot. So pretty good.
yeah, great. We're having a huge thunderstorm. So I don't know if even the trees in my garden are still there. I have to go and investigate. But do you have any questions at all? Any questions? Anything? Sure.
Uh, I will contemplate a little bit about what we talked about, and and maybe have some practice, and maybe after that I will reach out
Yeah,
with some questions.
sure. Yeah, and we
Partic-
can. Yeah, go ahead.
yes, and particularly interesting to see like how much I'm projecting the pleasantness or unpleasantness, and try to observe as they are, not
Mhm.
attach.
Mm, yeah. So just observe.
Yep.
Just try to practice stillness as much as you can through, again, going back. If you don't have stillness, go back to the basics. Go to generosity. Yeah, try to do something, actions that will, and generate more generosity, physical or verbal or mental.
Yep.
Yeah. Metta, you can try it. If you're at home, if you really don't have anything that you can physically do, you can practice metta meditation. May all beings be well. So that is generosity through your mind, and that helps to calm down the system a lot. The beautiful Pali word is in the Karnimetta Sutta is Sabbe Sattha Bhavantu Sukhi Sattha. May all living beings be well. And that is that if you learn those words and repeat that, they're like very, very powerful words that resonates with the entire infinite universe. Even if you say it aloud in your community, you will see there will be changes because it's a very peaceful resonance in those words. So you can try that.
Yep.
And like I said, just observe. Don't push yourself. Just take your time, slowly, slowly, and observe. Observation is the key, and that helps to reduce the craving, uh, which is really what you need to do. Okay,
Excellent.
great. So shall we end our little discussion for today?
Yes.
Yes, so I'll just do a little blessing and then we'll finish. Okay.
Of course.
Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanupavena sada sati bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanupavena sada sati bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanupavena sada sati bhavantu te. So, Alex, and all who are listening to this Dhamma talk, may you all be blessed with health in your lives, peace in your heart, success in everything that you do with good intention, and may you have the courage and effort to practice this noble Dhamma path to reach enlightenment in this very lifetime. And we wish all beings, your families, friends, relatives, people living in your city or town, your country, our planet Earth, other stars, into the infinite universe. May all living beings be well. Sabbe sattha bhavantu sukhi sattha. Sabbe sattha bhavantu sukhi sattha. Sabbe sattha bhavantu sukhi sattha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Lovely. Thank you so much, Alex, for leading this.
Thank you so much for taking your time, for being patient and explaining and having us a lovely guided meditation.
My pleasure. And we'll see each other next week.
See you next week.
Okay, bless you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.